Hi, I'm Emily Kokoschka. I'm the one holding the camera, and this is my CCR for my film beginning, Project ATTLAS. Before I begin, I would like to mention that I worked in a group of 3 with Sophia Coves and Amal Abdin. Let's start off with what ATTLAS stands for. It stands for Advanced Time Traveler Last Advancement to Society. As it says in the name of the title, the main character in this film is ATTLAS. She has time-traveling powers, and because of these powers, she was held as a testing subject by the government. However, she later escaped, which is what this movie is based on. We consider this a sci-fi and action movie. Sci-fi film is defined as fiction based on imagined future scientific or technological advances and major social or environmental changes, frequently portraying space or time travel and life on other planets. Why do we consider this film a sci-fi? Well, first of all, it is a fictional science-based depictions of phenomena that are not fully accepted by mainstream science, like time travel, human superpowers, and cerebral science, which is all in our movie. For the time-traveling portion of our film, we took ideas from movies like The Umbrella Academy, Back to the Future, and Avengers Endgame, all using very unique special effects that we wanted prominent in our own film. Superpowers are also prominent in this film, not only from ATTLAS having powers of time travel, but also the idea that ATTLAS was not the only person being trapped in the facility she was in. There were other people with her, also being tested on by these government agents. This is seen when a government worker screams Experiment 0617 has escaped in the film, hinting to ATTLAS being a human experiment, and there being other prisoners as well. Cerebral science is also used. We took this idea from The Matrix for our government scene. Using these codes and the green color, it gives off a feeling of corruptness and also gives the movie a bit more of a sci-fi feeling to it. Alongside the sci-fi genre, we also consider this movie an action. An action film is defined as where the protagonists are thrust into a series of events that typically include violence, extended fighting, physical feats, rescues, and frantic car chases. Why do we consider this film an action movie? Well, some characteristics to an action movie is that it has a strong hero, frantic car chases, and violence, which is all included in this movie. Our strong hero is ATTLAS. Although she may not look like a powerful hero, or even be as strong as a hero, like Captain America, but she most definitely is a hero to herself. Being a hero does not mean being someone macho and tough, but instead it is believing in yourself to do the right thing. She's a strong young teen that just escaped a secret government agency in order to better her life. That's what makes her a strong, independent woman and hero to herself. Frantic chases are also a characteristic to action films. Although our chasing scene is not as intense as the Fast and Furious one as seen here, it is still a chase scene that terrifies ATTLAS, and is meant to show the audience how careful she has to be after she's escaped, because of the constant worry of being caught by a government worker. This film does not include any fighting scenes or violence. However, ATTLAS does have a prominent bruise on her head, hinting to her being beat while being trapped at the facility. If this was a complete film, it would include a scene of how she was treated at the government facility to give a backstory of her life. One thing we did challenge was the stigma of men having lead roles over women, especially in sci-fi movies. By making ATTLAS a girl and making her the lead role of our movie, we challenged the conventions of prejudiced views in Hollywood. Hollywood is mainly man-prominent, meaning most leading roles are men. Being a group of all girls, we wanted to challenge these stigmas in our film. Being a strong, powerful character in a sci-fi film does not mean a man has to be the lead role. Throughout Hollywood, we see mainly men solo leads in sci-fi movies, and more specifically, a statistic showed 14% of female solo leads and 55% of male solo leads, 31% with male and female solo leads in sci-fi films. There's a lack of women representation in all of Hollywood, not just sci-fi film. Many famous actresses have vouched for this, like Emma Watson, who has said 13 of her producers she's worked with were men, while only one was a woman, showing a lack of women representation throughout Hollywood. We wanted to create a strong character in a sci-fi film that is seen as independent and strong-willed, like Wonder Woman and Black Widow. ATTLAS as a character is strong-willed. After all, she escapes a government facility for the betterment of herself. After escaping, she's finally free of the torture she had to withstand as a test subject. After all she wanted as a teen was to feel free. She didn't want to have the feeling of entrapment casting down on her. This is what is seen in the first 2 minutes of the film. A girl that no longer wants to be seen as a prisoner number. Instead, she wants to be seen as a human, free of fear. The main way this film can be distributed is through social media. In today's world, social media controls everything. I can post my film on Instagram and YouTube, but mainly YouTube because it is specifically a video streaming platform. My movie would have a better chance to reach more people on YouTube. Another way I can distribute my movie is through film festivals. There are hundreds of different film festivals, local, national, and international. Sending my movie to these festivals gives me a better chance of it reaching more people, making it more known. Also, by making it more known, I could also find partners to work with in distributing the film. If the film does have good criticism, then it could later go international to widen the audience consumption. I most definitely developed in my cinematography skills and editing skills. With cinematography, I developed as we filmed more. I noticed as I worked with the camera more, I began to understand what works with it and what not, like lighting, angles, and focus of the camera. I also think as we filmed for longer, I began to get more comfortable and go out of my comfort zone with shots, like me sitting on the floor. I got out of my comfort zone to film a different angle, and it turned out great. It was later used in the film. I also think since we did film at 5 different locations, all on different days, I was able to get more expressive as I got more comfortable. However, one downside to filming at 5 different locations is having hours of clips to go through. These are just a few of the clips. I have many more on my phone. Going through these clips was challenging and took a few hours to put together and crop. However, as I spent more time with the editing software, I began to feel more comfortable using it. In the government scene, one thing we had trouble with was the brightness of the clips. Since we wanted a darker tone, it was harder for us to see the faces of the workers. So in iMovie, which was one of the softwares I used to edit, we just increased the brightness and increased the saturation of the clip in order to see the faces of the government workers. One thing that will forever be confusing to me is Adobe Premiere Pro, which we used for the special effects. This is an amazing editing software, however there's too much to do, which is what makes it very confusing. The amount of options of effects and so on is never ending. However, after watching countless of videos on how to work it, we finally figured it out, and we created amazing special effects for our film. For audio, we went out of our comfort zone and created our own music for our logo opening. This took some time and definitely shows our development and our confidence with editing. One of the components of the film that took the longest and had the most development was the audio throughout the movie. As you can see, I added many clips of audio, like Foley's, music, and voiceovers. I had to individually add each of the footsteps to match the video. This was much more difficult than I had imagined. It took hours just to get the product I wanted. However, as I spent more time with this software, I started to be able to add sound effects in faster and more efficiently. I think the main reason I had trouble with this was because I wanted everything to be perfect, which is not possible because nothing in this world is perfect. One of the websites for audio I used was Zapsplat. This was a lifesaver when I did audio for the movie. This website provides free, royalty-free special effects sounds. There are hundreds of different types of sound effects, ranging from animal sounds to regular, everyday sounds. Technology. This whole project utilized technology, first starting off with the research. For research, I didn't do book research. I used the internet and all the resources the internet provides. After research, we started filming. I used a Nikon D850, which is an amazing digital camera. This provides us with clear, defined shots. If the camera could not be used for a shot, I used an iPhone 11, which is also technology. For editing, I used a MacBook Pro, and for the editing softwares, I used iMovie and Premiere Pro Plus. Doing this project showed me that without technology, movies would not be possible, showing just how much everyone relies on technology in today's age. So that's the end of my CCR. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my CCR and my final project. I worked really hard on it with my team, and we're really proud of it. So thank you.